Hello students, I am Vandana Gaur from GL Bajaj Institute of Management and Research, and today we will having a session on attitude. Attitude, we all have attitude. Now what is this attitude? If I say that my attitude is good, my attitude is bad, then how do we actually define that attitude? Where does this attitude reflects? Are attitude important in organizational behavior? Does attitude play an important role in the organization? Does attitude have an effect on the job performance? The answer to all these questions is yes. Attitude have a very important role to play in both, whether we talk about the personal life of an individual or the professional life. Because attitudes are something which reflects an individual's way of thinking. Attitude is a predisposition, that is, it's a condition which shows that, which states that how an individual will behave in a certain situation. It's a predisposition to respond in a positive or a negative way to something, anything which exists in the environment. It's a way how an individual feels about something. It can be a person, it can be a place, it can be a commodity or a situation or an idea, it can be anything. Because an individual, every individual in fact, has its own way of thinking. Every individual has a different way of perceiving the things that forms his or her attitude. It is a way of expressing an individual's positive and negative feelings. What an individual thinks about anything which exists in his or her environment defines his or her attitude. Characteristics of attitude. What are the features of attitude? When we say that it is a predisposition, it is a predisposition of an individual to behave in a certain way. Then how an individual behaves in a certain way? Through evaluating the objects in favorable or unfavorable manner. Suppose if an organization, an individual enters and that individual is very hastily entered into the organization, not properly dressed, the attitude toward that person will be different of different individuals. Some will perceive him as a low income class people, some will perceive him that he is a needy person. So, the way the people will perceive him, think about him, that will define their attitude towards that individual. So, it is a way of evaluating the things. How do you evaluate? Favorable or unfavorable manner? That defines the attitude. One. Second, attitudes are different from values. Now, values are something which are very broad in nature. Values are the beliefs which an individual carries on. with himself or herself. These values are the factors. These values determine the attitude of an individual, because these values are inculcated in an individual right from the very beginning of their life. And these values, they shape the attitude of an individual. They play an important part in shaping the attitude of an individual. But yes, attitudes are different from values. Attitude is a predisposition to respond to a certain set of facts. How to behave, how to respond to a certain set of facts, that again defines the attitude. And attitudes are evaluative statements. Evaluative statements means evaluation. After doing the evaluation of the situation, of the object, of anything towards which the attitude is required to be formed. So, attitudes are evaluative statements. They are always more on the evaluation side. How do you evaluate something in a positive manner, in a negative manner? So, that is attitude, that defines the attitude, or those can be said as the characteristics of attitude of an individual, whatever he or she follows. Now, there are certain functions of attitude. These functions of attitude, these are quite important with respect to the individual's behavior in an organization. How an individual behaves in an organization, and attitude plays a very important role. There are different types of functions of attitudes which decide the behavior of an individual within an organization. The first one is the adjustment function. Now, adjustment function is, it is clear from the name itself, adjustment, adjust in the situation. When an individual adjusts in the situation, and what is the role of attitude here? In an organization, if an individual receives a positive environment to work, then the attitude of that individual towards the organization will be positive. While if there is a negative environment to work upon, the environment is not very congenial, then that individual forms a negative attitude towards the organization, and it becomes quite difficult to adjust in that organization. So, the kind of environment which an individual receives has an important role to play in his attitude. So, that is the first function. Second is the ego defensive function. Individuals who work in the organization, they carry their egos. There are certain situations where they feel that it is important to defend their ego. How to defend? Where the ego is hurt. And when the ego is hurt, then it becomes important to defend. For example, suppose if a boss sees that his or her employee is sitting idle, howsoever that employee is resting for few minutes, but that employee sees that manager sees that employee is sitting idle, he does not have any work. So, there that boss ego is hurt. How that employee is sitting idle? He or she assigns a task to that individual, to that employee. So, that is ego defensive function. There are various situations in the organization where individuals react in a way in order to protect themselves, in order to protect their ego, defend their ego. That defines the attitude of that individual towards that, either it is a situation, towards a person, towards an object, whosoever it is. Value expressive function. value. Again we are coming to the values. Now see, values have an important part to play in attitude. Expressing the values, because whatever values an individual have within himself or herself, they play an important role in forming their attitudes. So, value expressive function is related to the values of an individual. The kind of values an individual is carrying, that has a great impact on the attitude of that individual. And the last is the knowledge function. Knowledge is what? Knowledge is a set of organized facts within himself or herself. The knowledge of a subject, the knowledge of any specific task, these knowledge, they define that how an individual will act in a certain situation. Suppose if an individual does not have any knowledge about the behavior of the individuals, about the people working in the organization, like he or she is not able to understand the behavior aspect of the employees, then the more inclination will be towards the stereotype thinking, because there is no knowledge. So, knowledge is very important to form the attitude of an individual. So, these are the functions of attitude. Moving forward, the components of attitude. Now, when we talk about the components of attitude, that is what are the basic components of attitude, then mainly there are three types or three components of attitude: affective, cognitive and behavioral. We call it as the ABC model also. What is cognitive? We will start with the cognitive effect. Cognitive component is also known as the informational component, that is the attitude or the belief which is based on some information. The information which the individual has about the particular object. So, cognitive component is mainly about the informational component. That information which an individual is having already in the form of beliefs and values, ideas and opinions, they reflect a person's attitude towards that particular object. Cognitive elements are the evaluative beliefs and are measured by the attitude scales. Now, attitude can be measured on different scales. So, cognitive elements, they are the evaluative beliefs. Why evaluative beliefs? Because as we said that evaluative is something which is based on some evaluation, and evaluation can only be done only when there is a certain knowledge on that particular fact, on that particular object, on that particular situation. So, the kind of information which an individual is carrying about a certain fact or a certain situation, that will have an effect on the attitude formation of that individual. Cognitive components, they set a stage for the affective component. They are the base for the second component, which we are saying as the affective component. Why a base? A base because when we talk about the affective component, then affective component is the emotional component. So, whatever knowledge an individual is carrying, when that knowledge is combined with the emotional component, then the outcome is the behavior. Coming back to the cognitive component only, for example, a statement is there that discrimination is wrong. Now, this discrimination is wrong, it is a value statement. Why it is a value statement? Because it is based on the values. I believe that discrimination is wrong. That is my belief. And based on this belief that doing discrimination is wrong, it will form my attitude towards my employees. So, this attitude is based on the cognitive component. Then comes the affective component. What is affective component? Affective component is which is based on emotions. Affective component, it refers to the person's or the individual's feeling that result from his or her beliefs about a person's object or a situation. It is a feeling, inner feeling of an individual. What an individual feels about a certain situation. Now, as compared to the cognitive component, there it was knowledge, whereas in affective component it is the feeling which is actually driving an individual's attitude, the feeling of an individual about a person or object or any situation. This affective component, it becomes stronger when there is more of the direct contact with the object. The more is the contact with the object, the higher is the affective component, because as we see in the real life also, if two individuals working in the same organization, if they are having a proper communication within themselves, then the emotional bonding will increase, whereas if there is a communication gap between the two, then there will not be any emotional bonding, whereas the communication gap will lead to some sort of confusion. So, higher is the affective component, more is the contact with the individual or the object or the situation, whatever it is. For example, I like this, this is a statement, I like this. Now, this I like this, it is very strongly representing the emotional component of the attitude of the individual. Oh, I love this, I love to eat mangoes. Now, this is something which is showing the feeling of an individual towards the mangoes. So, affective component, it represents the emotional component of an attitude. Third, behavioral component. Now, from cognitive to affective and then to behavioral. The combination of the cognitive component and the affective component results in the behavior of an individual. So, behavioral component is the tendency of a person to behave in a particular manner, how that particular individual will behave. It results as a result of the feelings about the focal person, object or situation. It is the individual behavior. It is the individual behavior. Talking about the affective component, there it was the feelings, but here it is the behavior, the outcome. That feelings they are converting into the outcome because of the feelings about the person or any object or any situation. For example, if there is a news in the organization that the company is about to merge, a merger process is about to start, then what effect it will have on the attitude of the employees working in the organization? Some will think it is better to leave the organization now because the new management will throw us out of the organization. Some will think no, we'll be with the organization because the new management is very good. They will retain the employees. So, listening about the news of the merger of the company, the behavioral intentions of the individuals are influenced according to the feeling what they are carrying out, what they are having by listening to the news of the merger. So, these are the three components of attitude, and all these three components taken together, they have an effect on the behavior, on the attitude of an individual, which results in the job performance of that particular individual, because the kind of attitude an individual carries, it plays a very important role in achieving the job performance in an effective manner, in doing the task in an effective manner. So, these were the components of attitude. Next, moving forward, types of attitude. Now, what are the types of attitude? Types of attitude, it basically talks about the attitude which are reflected or which are shown by the individuals, employees working in the organization. So, mainly three types of attitude are identified. The first one is the job satisfaction. What is job satisfaction? Job satisfaction, satisfied with the job, how much an individual feels that the job or the task which has been assigned to him or her is extracting his or her abilities, or in a very simple language, if we want to say that yes, I am satisfied with my job. If job satisfaction is there, if attitude towards the job assigned to an individual is positive in nature, is satisfied in nature, that is, an individual is satisfied, then he or she will have a positive attitude towards that job. On the contrary, if an individual is dissatisfied, the kind of task assigned to him or her, the kind of duties given to him or her, the responsibilities assigned to him or her, if an individual is not dissatisfied, is not satisfied with them, that is a sense of dissatisfaction is there, then the attitude towards the job will be negative. So, job satisfaction, it plays an important role while framing the attitude of an individual in the organization. Second, job involvement. Now, job satisfaction is something which shows the attitude of an individual towards the job, how much satisfied I am. Whereas, the job involvement, it refers to the degree to which a person identifies psychologically with his job. Now, when we say psychologically with his job, when an individual is satisfied with his or her job, only then the job involvement will be there. How well an employee does in his or her job, how much involved an employee is in his or her job, in what best possible manner an employee can do the job. That means, it is the perceived performance level. Perceived performance level means how an employee perceive himself or herself, that in what manner the job can, in the best possible manner, the job can be done by himself or herself, because the job involvement has a direct relationship with the self-worth of the individual. That individual, he correlates his prove his self-worth through his or her job involvement. So, that is job involvement. Next is the organizational commitment. Now, what is organizational commitment? How much committed an employee is towards his or her organization. Because commitment is something that if an individual is having a sense of commitment towards the organization, then the job involvement and the job satisfaction will be high. In fact, we go it vice versa, that if job satisfaction and job involvement are there, then there will be organizational commitment. So, organizational commitment is a state in which an employee identifies with a particular organization and its goals. That means, the organizational commitment, if an employee is committed to his or her organization, then they continuously, rigorously works for the organization, for the organizational goals, because commitment, it is a state of mind where an individual wants to work for the organization, wants to devote himself or herself to the organization. Job involvement and organizational commitment. What is the difference between these two? Job involvement is identifying with one's specific job, whereas the organizational commitment identifying with one's organization. So, organizational commitment is always related with the organization, that is committed to the organization, whereas job involvement is in identifying with the specific job, the job assigned to that individual. So, the individuals, they show different type of attitude in the organization, where it can be job satisfaction, job involvement and organizational commitment, and they basically show or they reflect these types of attitudes, they basically reflect the attitude of an individual within an organization. That is all in this session. Thank you very much.